Yeah!
We are taking Delta.
Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Vertigo Duel. Today we've got Axis playing 2nd Panzergren, a division I've never seen him on before, and he's going up against Pastor Black playing as 119Y. So we'll go through the deck reviews, then we'll talk about the map, the match, the deployments, and the game, and as always timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for Axis. He's playing 2nd Panzergren. I've covered this deck in great detail. It basically never changes. So there's no point just going over the same thing, the exact same thing over and over again. So in the description, this video will be linked where I talk about the deck. Now you may notice that there is one change. What's the change been? Well, the Jaguar 2 was removed from 2nd Panzergren. And this game was played before that patch, so when I import the deck, as you can see, it's lost something. So the only change would be instead of the Jaguar 2, you would get the Jaguar 1. Just to compare them, the Jaguar 1 is cheaper, 20 points cheaper, but it is, whoops, it's actually already there. And you get more of them, I believe you get one more of them. But it is worser. So the Hot One, having 20 missiles is a lot of missiles, frankly. But basically the TOW 2 is better. It deals 3 more penetration, it's got more suppression, and it's got more accuracy. So it is worth those 20 extra points that you pay for it. 25 pen is enough to one-shot 11 armor, from what I remember. Because 20 is 6, 21 is 7, 22 is 8, 23 is 9, 24 is 10, 25 is 11. Quick maths. And then that means that the Hot One can one-shot 8 armor. So what is 8 armor? There's nothing that's actually 8 armor exactly. Like this is 9, for example. A lot of things used to have less armor. A lot of pack stuff specifically. But basically, like a Challenger Mark 3 on the side armor, it would not actually one-shot because that's got 11 HP because of the ERA trait. So I can't actually think of the top of my head of anything that is 8 armor, because T55As are 11, right? And then, so something like an M48, 10, 10, 10, 8 armor. AX30B maybe? No, that's 9. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird cutoff is 22 pen. 23 lets you start one-shotting 9 armor, which is, you know, AMX30B2s and this thing and so on. So yeah, that it is a downgrade, right? But it is cheaper. Switching to his opponent's deployment, we've got it was like Pastor Black playing something like that. Playing 119Y. And we haven't covered this guy's deck before, so we shall do so in great detail. Basically, 119Y is just an overpowered division at the moment. You just spam Resvedka BMP2s. Autocannons have been nerfed a little bit, but not much. You just spam out, basically you get a really good early game in the form of the forward deployed Spetsnaz and so on. There, and the TO55 spam, and the Resvedka BMP2s. Then, in the mid game, you spam out more Resvedka BMP2s. And you start buying these heavy tanks, right? So, first things first, only 2 cards of supply is really weird. And frankly, I think 2, 5, 6, 7, 9 CVs is too much, really. So, I would be getting rid of this one. So basically this, you can buy 2 at the start and just send them around all over the place dead cheap. The advantage of this is it's got more availability, but basically I'd be getting rid of one of these to get a 3rd card of supply. And that can either be this tracked armored supply, which is, you know, doesn't carry much supply, but it's cheap. Or you can get the Helo supply, just to refill things. So basically you could do like this, basically. So Helo supply refills the trucks near the back, right? And then there's, well, you know, behind the front lines, and then the trucks take it up to the front lines. And you've also got these if you want for cheapness. But it's not a big deal, right? So the advantage of this is that it's literally 40 points. So you're not too far behind at the start if you buy 2 of these, send them around. But if you think 6 CVs isn't enough, you just get this one instead. You're expected to be behind at the start of the game anyway on CVs and stuff. the idea is late game you're basically an unstoppable machine. Sorry. Infantry tabs, so Spetsnaz, really good at the start, forward deployed, one of the best infantry units in the game, if not the best anti-infantry infantry unit in the game. 12 men, special forces, you know, airborne, shock, RPO, 2 machine guns. And then these SMGs make it so that, like, 10 SMGs means that at close range, you win. The issue is that this goes at 90 kilometers now, and they've got no anti-vehicle. So what you do is you always pair them up with one of these. This you send out at the start. It goes at 100 kilometers an hour, also airborne forward deployed, and 21 pen, very powerful. Will one-shot 7 armor, which makes it very good. And it's got very high accuracy. Yeah, really nice squad. So you always use one of these with one of these, or, you know, one of these with 2 of these, that sort of thing. You always make sure that you've got some anti-tank on hand. And then later on in the game, if you're playing on a map like Black Forest or something, you just send it round the sides. And you just go and annoy the hell out of people by sniping transport roads and stuff. So it just remains useful throughout the game. You get 6 of them. Saperi RPO and the BTR 60 PB. So he's brought this at Novet. I don't know about this, really. Basically, he's lacking wheeled line infantry. If you want RPOs, you've got Spetsnaz. If you want additional close range, you've got satchels. So why do you need 6 more RPOs? I think it would be better to have 5 pull Machiki. Just as line infantry, truck line infantry that has AT. It's just personal preference, really. But then you've also got Motostrelky BMPs and the BMP1 Unspeakable. And this, the way this works is that you just buy it for the IFV spam. You see that he's brought it at Novet for that reason. You don't get a lot of infantry as this division, but actually you do because you get 3 cards of Recon Infantry. Artillery, so this is the way Skific does it, basically. You bring 2 Gvozdikas at 2 vet, and then you use those for smoke, and you try and use them to snipe ATGM positions. I personally think it's a waste of time. Trying to play this div as like a fast div. You can do it, but it's just a suboptimal way to play it. So with this having a much lower supply cost now, I believe it used to be like 3,000 to supply that. I think, am I making that up? 1,800 is still quite a bit. Basically, you would bring 2 of these and this. And so this is your heavy arty. It is towed, so you do have to micro it, which can be annoying. But yeah, it's got a really, really nice range. You can basically just leave it at the back of the map. And yeah, really, so it'll have a really tight dispersion circle, and it deals good damage. And then if you do end up on a town, you crack the town open with the burrito, and you don't fire the whole volley. You only need about 10 rounds. It's basically useless against vehicles now because they changed it to thermobaric. But the idea is that it's even better against infantry than it was before. So that is how you crack open the town. You use the burrito. Because the div is designed to basically, you get your foot in the door with the Spetsnaz and then you play it slow. You can play it fast if you want, but it is a suboptimal way to play. And I've seen good players lose games that they shouldn't be losing because they're playing the division wrong. So, you know, there's always a case to be made for, oh, well, if I just outplay my enemy 3 times, then I'll win. But that's not really advice I can give to people. Just be better. There's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And the wrong way can still work if you're better than your opponent. But that's not something I endorse. The Vasilik's terrible, don't bring it. Tank tab, so basically you bring CV tanks, right? T80 BVKs, then the T80 UDs. You always bring your tanks at like 1 vet minimum, basically. The reason for that is that at no vet it will take 7 minutes to get its cohesion back. And at 1 vet it will take 3 minutes. And these things are so armoured, basically 2 of the cheapest ATGM in the game can hit you and put your cohesion to 0, because that's the way Warno works. After playing Broken Arrow, I think that's something Broken Arrow does much better. 2 of the cheapest ATGM in the game will not make your heavy tank useless. So that's something. And then he's brought 2 T8Us at 1 vet and then 2 T8Us at 2 vet. I think this is a mistake. So basically, so these are auto-loaded, which means that you don't get additional rate of fire by upvetting them. And what is he losing for this? Well, he could get 6 BRDM2 Conkers, which will give him a lot of space in the early game, because you send these around the sides, and you annoy people with these. Especially given that he doesn't have this one, right? You need this to go around the sides and annoy people. So for the sake of getting 5% accuracy on your tank, it doesn't actually shoot any faster. You know, minus 0.12 seconds aim time. Wow. You're losing 6 BRDM2 Conkers. Also, so this takes 7 minutes to go back to full cohesion. This takes 3, and this takes 2. So the advantage here is not big. So get rid of that, and then put the BRDM2 Conkers in. Then we've got TO55s for the early game. These are pretty cracked. They're just ridiculously light. So basically they buff the fire rates. So now it shoots as fast as a Challenger. And so yeah, basically 9 ROF. It's a bit stupid really for the price. And then they added another machine gun, and they changed the vet curve to make it better. So these are massively overperforming at the moment. And so yeah, you bring both cards because they're really good. And then you bring it at 2 vet because you don't really need 12 of them. By the time you've bought 8, you should be swapping into the heavy tanks. Then this is like a defensive. To be honest, I don't really like these anymore. If you're against a good player, it'll get RT'd really fast. But basically, it's got 2,800 meters range. It's a very, very effective defensive tool. And that helps you transition into the late game when you start buying your heavy tanks, because the enemy will struggle to push into this, and this complements that. But this is more mobile, it's got less range, right? And the missile's slower. The missile on this is just ridiculously fast. Stupidly so, actually. So, yeah, this is more of a frustration tool. Use it to annoy the enemy and also to aid in the defense while you switch into the late game. So yeah, you can have both if you want. But if you need 2 AP for something, I'm not sure what you'd need it for, really. That's all 3. Then that's a way you could get rid of this, basically. Recon, so Razvedka BMP2. I would be bringing this at Novet on this division, because you want as many Razvedka BMP2s as possible, because they are broken. And this fulfills a similar role to these two, except it's better at it, because it's also got the autocannon and so on. It's got the armor. Yeah, so you want as many of these as possible, in my humble opinion. Then Spetsnaz Gru is for the early game, and it's got ground surveillance radar. Razvedka Saperi, if you actually want them to be useful in their fighting role, you need them at 1 vet. Otherwise, you're just going to lose all your cohesion, and then you're going to lose the fight. Because the point is, you have to run up to the guy to fire the satchels at him. So the range. And so if you lose cohesion while you're running up to him, you've lost. BRM 1K, so, yeah. This is exceptional optics. You click it, Shift F, click on your tanks, follows your tanks around. The NATO ones come at 4 availability, the packed ones come at 6, and also they've got more armor. And then this is a recon healer. I don't really think this is a good idea. I'd be more tempted to... That's 3 availability. Would you not rather have 2 seed planes to help your LGBTs actually drop on target? Just don't really think that's a good idea. Basically, what you can do is open with this at the start, and then open with the jets, and then try and defend this with the jets and frustrate the enemy's forward deployment. But I mean, I feel like you're just playing the div wrong. It's not really supposed to be rushing people. And also, wouldn't you rather have... Yeah, so if you get the seed instead, that's more of a late game tool, because you buy the seed before you buy the LGBTs. It's a really good seed plane. It's got 60% ECM. I'd use that to kill the enemy AA. And also you send it out in front of your LGBT to soak shots and stuff. Or you can get 2 more fighters, because if you run out of fighters on this division, you're dead. Because your heavy tanks are going to get sniped by planes. So 4 fighters is cutting it loose, actually. I would... Yeah, so you could get the seed. Or you could just get 2 more fight. I'd be more tempted to get 2 more fighters. That's even more conservative than getting the seed. AA, so Tunguska, it's not that good really, but it is what it is. It shoots helicopters, it shoots planes, and also if you switch this off, it can still fire these helicopters with good range and can't be seeded, whereas this can be seeded. Still 10M, you don't need 7, upvet it to get 5. This is SHORAD, so it's against helicopters mainly. If a plane flies over it, it will do quite a bit to it. And then the igloos, you don't need 9 igloos, you upvet that, so you get 6. Helicopters, so he's gone heavy on the helicopters. I don't know about these Escortinis, to be honest. I don't think they're very good. The idea is you fire off the big rockets and then you leave. These infrared missiles are neither here nor there. They're not going to do anything for you, really. Then this is 170 points for 80 rockets and 4 Kokons, and a nice gun and 10% ECM. Or you can pay 20 points less to get fewer rockets. I actually like this one the most because I like the bigger rockets. They fire from further away and they do more damage because even if they do miss and they do have better accuracy, they have a wider splash. So I actually prefer this one to those two. But they've all got their role. The advantage here is more sustained firepower and 10% ECM might keep you alive. I mean, it's really just a gambling game. Yeah, but I'd be getting 2 of these because I prefer the bigger rockets, and I'm very rarely in range to use this gun. Although, given that autocannon ranges got nerfed against helos, so this is 1500 now, this actually will outrange it. So maybe it's more useful than I give it credit for. Air tab, so we already spoke about my addition here, and then he's gone 4 fighters. The Su-27S went up in price by 10 points. It's still better than the Eagle, which costs the same, if not more. It's got better long-range missiles, longer range, more accuracy. It's got better short-range missiles, more suppression, same everything else. And it's got a better turning circle, and it's got more missiles, and it costs the same, if not less. Then this is one of the best LGBTs in the game. It drops 1 missile at once, and it's a 15. Basically, reload times are not based on the bomb weight. They're just based on the bomb number. So if you've got the biggest bomb possible, it will reload at the same rate as a small bomb. So there's some planes that shoot loads of small bombs. They don't do any damage because the splash on them is terrible. And then they take ages to reload. This is the opposite. It carries 2 massive bombs. They take 60 seconds each to reload, and they can one-shot heavy tanks. And you get 2 of them. So yeah, if you don't need this fighter, but if you lose air superiority as this division, you're dead. Because your heavy tanks are going to start getting hit by planes, and that's it. That's lights out. So that's why I put in this extra fighter, and this is also one of the most cost-efficient planes in the game because it's got the same missiles as the Su-27S. It's got less ECM. It's 40 points less. So yeah, I'd be getting the 6th fighter. Or you can get the seed to assist your LGBTs, but you're taking a big risk there. I think you need 6 fighters minimum. Anyways, that's it for the deck review. Then we'll talk about the maps, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. There's only 1 map. And as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so with that out of the way, let's talk a bit about the map. Red is on the good side. I absolutely despise Vertigo. Basically, red is on the good side because he can put an ATGM in here, or a Vehicle 1 in here, and then snipe this road. And he can put an ATGM in here, or a Vehicle 1 in here or here, and snipe this road. Attacking Alpha is way, way easier than attacking Bravo, because if you attack Bravo, the enemy can hide here and shoot you from up here. Seen that happen a lot. He also has a nice fallback position in this forest, so he can just go hide in the forest, keep reinforcing into the forest. Attacking Alpha's a lot easier, right? If you get up to here, you cut the whole zone, basically. There's no nice fallback position, there's just a big open field. If you get up to here, you do not cut the whole zone, right? Because these guys can still come in, whereas here, they're not coming in, right? Yeah, so it's just way, way easier to attack Alpha. And Charlie's basically the same. And Delta, is basically the same. The issue on this side is, well, it's not basically the same, because red can get this and cut that road. This is the default road all units will use. So once they take this, which obviously they will because they start with it, you have to manually path your guys here and then send them in. Otherwise, they'll just keep coming down this road and getting shot, which is really annoying. Blue's only advantage really is that they can take this a bit more easily because of this position, this fallback position here. And if they take this, they can put an ATGM in this house, and then they can shoot this reinforcement road. You can get around it by just coming through the forest, but it is kind of annoying if blue takes this. So, let's talk about the deployments. Pastor Black is just doing it all wrong, basically. I mean, keep in mind what I just said. Attacking Alpha is easy. Oh, no, matchup. So we spoke about this in the deck reviews. 119Y, slow div, it has the late game. Heavy tanks that basically can't be killed. Just take it slow, do a slow roll. Nice forward deployed to just get your foot in the door and make sure you're not taking a heavy point tick. And then, yeah, 2nd Panzergren, also an extremely strong division. It's basically reasonably strong for the entire game. It's got good forward deployment, and then it just spams Marder 1A3s until the end of days. It's covered by the iHawks. It's got top-of-the-line arty, tanks, air spam, IFVs. It's just good at everything. It's just too good at everything. It's ridiculous. So, yeah. Both divs, overpowered. Who cares who wins? That sort of thing. So, talking about the deployments, Pastor Black, he's basically doing it all wrong here. I've just told you that this is like a heavy division that wants to play around the late game and attack in open ground and stuff. I spoke about this more in the deck review. So what he should be doing is just defending here, keeping a guy in here if he can, or he can just fall back to here and deal with that later, defending this, and then he wants to attack Alpha. How do you attack Alpha? You come and take this with your forward deployment, and you come and take this with your forward deployment, and then you try and get round to here with some ATGMs. He's got those repair anti-tank guns, and you cut the reinforcements. And from here, you get to here, and you cut the reinforcements. And then you push mid. You push down the middle of this. What we see lots of people doing is not doing this, and then just running up and down this road and getting shot in the face over and over and over and over again. It is a shame that these people breathe the same oxygen as me, but it is what it is. So, looking at the deployments, Pastor Black has decided that actually he just wants to rush into the towns on the right, and he's just going to defend Bravo, and he's going to go for these and worry about this later. I'm not really sure if that's such a good idea, but you can also do that if you're on this side, because losing Bravo is really difficult because of the fallback position and so on. So yeah, you can defend here and push here. But I do think that his division should be pushing Alpha. Yeah, so we've got 2 Spetsnaz and 2 Spetsnaz OP, and they're all going into Delta. Basically, typically, so both sides forward deployment will get to these buildings at the same time. So you want to get into this building, because if the enemy comes into this building, then he's just going to shoot all your guys here. He's not actually doing that, but whatever. So, yeah, Spetsnaz OP, and then behind that, 4 Voldemort BMP ones, and they're all going into Delta, covered by 1 Tunguska. So that's exciting. No Resvedka BMP2. So yeah, like, instead of these two, because you only need 2 of these to win whatever fight that's going to be. 1 each. This should be a Razvedka BMP2, because then you can get that up to here and be shooting down there, and you get the infantry, which you can send over here or something. So that's a really weird deployment. Like, what does he need 3 BMP 1Ps for? Wouldn't that be better off being... Oh, he actually does have some TO-50. It's just not selecting it properly. There are also TO-55s here. Okay, so that... I was going to say you need some TO-55s, really. But yeah, there you go. But yeah, no Resvedka BMP2 is kind of weird. Then on the left, we've got OP Spetsnaz and Spetsnaz Gru just defending Bravo. An anti-tank gun, and that's going up here to shoot down there, as we spoke about. 2 TO-55s, Strela 10M, and the cheapo CV, only 40 points. And yeah, the Spetsnaz and the Spetsnaz OP. There is also a CV in here. What's going on with my selection, man? So, yeah, there is also a CV in here, which is going for Delta. So his plan is to defend Bravo, attack Delta, and then he won't be suffering a point deficiency, because if Blue gets Charlie, then... But yeah, if you take Delta as red, Blue struggles to hold on to Charlie, because look at this, this is where the road is, so you just shoot them all as they come in. You just shoot them all as they come in, so... Maybe it makes sense. It's not how I'd do it. Switching to his opponent's deployment, we've got Axis playing 2nd Panzergren, and he's expecting to be attacked on Alpha, because... I mean, he's clearly on the same wavelength as me. Like, why wouldn't Red attack Alpha? I suppose the Red wouldn't attack Alpha because Blue probably is expecting an attack on Alpha. So that makes sense, I guess. So we've got FS Jaeger trying to rush into here. So this is not really a good idea because this goes at 90. So if the Spetsnaz OP actually did want to get up to here, it would get there first and blow him up. And then, yeah, Milan 2's one for this building and one for here. So he clearly intends to push Bravo, actually, if he can. And this is an interesting position, actually, because it can shoot down this road. I didn't actually know about that. I usually put it here. But no, that makes a lot of sense. Because you can shoot all the way down that road. And you still get good coverage on this road. I've learned something today. Then we've got 2 Jaguar 2s. This was played before the patch. It didn't really change much for either of these divisions, except the Jaguar 2s would now be Jaguar 1s. So yeah, they're fast pathing up to here and to there. He's clearly expecting a big fight here. Double Eyehawk. This is not really where you want to put it, because do you see how you can actually be shot from here if you put your guys here? So you want it like at least this far back so that these trees protect you. Or you can put it like here or something if you know. But yeah, putting it here means that guys coming down this road can actually just shoot you. I've had enemies put like a Humvee Tow 2 here and shoot me when I'm trying to come down here. Then 2 Leopard 1A5s. So they're sort of like the TO-55s, except they've got a better gun but worse armor. So that's the trade-off. The Leopard 1 is gun, and the T-55 is armor. That's kind of the way you can see it. But the T-55s keep getting buffed, so it's basically like the fire rate used to be, like it's 10 on these. It used to be 10 versus 8, now it's 10 versus 9, and it's just... Some of the people making the decisions have clear biases. I'm getting a bit fed up of the way that works in Warno. I guess it's because Broken Arrow's out, so I can sort of escape into a different game, which also has a Russian bias because it's made by Russians. Anyway, Unimog Supply. Okay, presumably for the Eyehawks, and then 2 Marder 1A3s and a Gepard. So 2 Eyehawks and a Gepard, so he's clearly expecting air. And then he's basically giving up on Delta and Charlie. So 1 Recon here, not even going for it, and the FS Jaeger trying to get up to here. If there was an OP Spetsnaz coming the other way, he would die there, but because it's 90 and that's 100, but there isn't an OP Spetsnaz coming the other way on either of these. Anyways, that's it for the deployments. Now let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. 1 join at the lowest level is worth 2,000 views in terms of ad revenue. So if you're feeling bad about your ad blocker, it's a great way to help me out. At the highest tier, you also get your games cast at a rate of 1 per month, 1 per calendar month. So unless you sign up on the 1st, you're guaranteed 2 casts. Have had people sign up on the 1st, sadly. I didn't see the racist, my bad. So, yeah, I'm currently trying to do this PhD. I didn't see this either, wow. I mean, wow, terrible. Too much Broken Arrow, it's rotted my brain. So, Axis is going to get mid for free, which is pretty crucial, actually, if he wants to take Bravo. Because if he gets mid, then he can put a Milan 2 here. The Milan 2 doesn't really have the range to take too much advantage of this. If a Conkers or something would be better suited, because it could start engaging here as opposed to like here. By the time, you know, the missile's probably not going to hit, but still very useful to have. You can also move up to here, right? So Yeah, that's huge, actually, just getting mid for free like that. I don't know, I think Pastor Black sort of massively overinvested in Delta. If he just put one Spetsnaz and one Razvedka BMP2 here, you just part the Razvedka BMP2 there. There you go, bam, 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 they're all dead. Spetsnaz comes in, takes this, you've got this now. Whereas he's given up this, and he's given up this, so even though this is an easier place to defend, if you lose the flanks, then you're going to have a bad time. You're going to have a bad time. So the Jaguar 2 could even be moved up to here. It's got a lot of armor, 6 armor, as does the Jaguar 1, which has now replaced it. So you don't lose anything for that in that regard. And yeah, you just put it here, and you can shoot down there, and you would be able to tank a hit from an enemy tank or whatever. Pastor has now decided to buy a T-80U. This is not an intelligent purchase. So he's very thin on the ground here. He seeded both his flanks. He's got one AA piece, and it's not even a good one. It's just the Strel 10M. It's not vetted or anything. And now he's buying a heavy tank. So playing out from Axis, almost gets the double kill, but the Spetsnaz makes it out, and this will be back in 2.5 minutes. And the CV died to the Milan 2, which actually did get moved to here anyway, so that's fair enough. The racist for the optics. So if you're Axis in this position, so here we go, Pastor's now starting to reposition his guys. The FS Jaeger should have just hid behind the building, really. He just needs to hide behind the building, which he is now doing. Okay, he's trying to get up to here so he can shoot that. Will he? I think it will be successful, actually. Yeah. And down it'll go, but now he needs to hide behind this building or the helicopter's going to kill him. But he's coming this way. And he needs to hide behind this building. So that helicopter's going to... Okay, so yeah, he's realised his mistake here. Now he's back... No, he needs to be behind the building. Well, now he's dead. So... it is what it is. You see he's bought a tornado to try and kill the jet, but there's a Tunguska there. And the Tunguska does miss him, but it's almost evac'd him on suppression, so he's going to have to leave. It's crazy how much higher my FPS is in Warno. And he tries to sling that missile, but he misses, so he gets evac'd, but at least he didn't die on his tornado, didn't get hit on the tornado there. FS Jaeger gets beaten up by the TO-55s and the Repairer. Very difficult to push this. And he does have a CV here, but he sold the transport for some reason. So he has to walk it now. He could use this transport to speed it up. He's chosen to send this all the way back instead. It's a bit of a mistake there. But yeah, +3 to Pastor. It will be +2 once Axis takes this. And the BMP-1 Unspeakable is just coming round here. It's going to stand in the perfect place to get blown up by this. So there it goes. Oh, he missed. Wow, it's quite surprising actually. Anyway, got him on the second one. TO-55s do die in one hit. T-55s die in one hit to TOW-2s. But that will no longer be the case in the next patch because they've been replaced by Jaguar 1s. So no more TOW-2 2nd Panzergren, which I think is good. I think the div is broken. I also think this div is broken. And they need to nerf the broken divs. The Su-27 got 10 points more expensive, which is a step in the right direction. Axis has swapped into the arty, but yeah, you see how the arty works in this game. Just misses bias. Oh, you got him there, clipped him there. So this could have been retreated down here, and then it would have survived because this would get lit up by all the leopards and stuff, but he's just kept it there, so that's dead now. So, bit of a micro mistake. This helicopter's claimed 2 kills, which this guy would have died eventually anyway, but this guy could have lived if he'd retreated back. So that is a shame. And Tornado is back out. I think this is the one from before. Basically the names would stay the same. So we need to remember Alpin. That's the way I can improve my casting. But anyway, Axis is behind now because so usually the red player would be pushing here and the blue player would have taken this. The 2nd Panzergren player usually would take this. And this is the guy from before. That's Henke. Gepard would die in one hit to this. It used to have 16 pen, but they upgraded it to 17 because Pact isn't allowed to have bad equipment. That Tunguska's still there. Right, so that's what he's doing. He's going for the Tunguska. So he's using the Tornado to scout with its face, but he's got his micro messed up here. That Tornado's probably going to die now. Yeah, so if he'd been a bit faster there, it would have made it. But he messed up his micro, so this was still turning. So he does kill the Tunguska, but he loses a Tornado. And he's only got 2 of the... I can't remember. Can't remember if he brings 4 or 2. He's only got 2 of those Tornadoes, and the Tunguska comes at 4 per card, and it's half the price. So that was not good. And what he could have done instead is use the arty to try and hit it. Or, if his micro had been tighter, the Tunguska wouldn't have been able to get so many shots off on the Tornado. But this was curling all the way around over here, and the Tornado flew over before the HE bomber could come in. So, Axis has switched into full late game mode here. He's bought his 2 artillery, and he's just going to try and hammer everybody. Pastor Black's micro is reasonably good there, but not fast enough to save him. This is, you know, the second best tube arty in the game, basically. The best is the Malka on KDA, because it's the same stats, but it gets a better range, which means at the same range, the dispersion is less. Sorry, I don't know what's up with me these days. I'm just a hollowed out shell of a man. I wish my PhD would finish, but it's never going to happen. So using the infantry CV on them isn't great, because this can't really keep up with this. So you really want to buy a vehicle one, and we know from the deck review that he does have Sultans in his deck, so he should be doing that really. But like, I mean, if this is doing nothing else, typically, so these aren't moving as much, and they're towed as well. So this should be with the Eyehawks really. But yeah, LGBT purchased. He clearly wants to snipe something. And you see the power of these this anti-tank gun, right? So Axis is in a big pickle here because he lost this, so he needs to come and take this, I guess. Looking at where he's put his guys, that's what he wants to do. I think he'd be better off trying to retake mid first and then pushing it. Because if you retake mid, he can put that FS Milan 2 in here, and that's really going to help him out. Not only because they shoot the guys that are here, but also because they threaten the reinforcement road. And you can get AA in there to annoy this. LGBT came all the way around for some reason. I'm not sure what it was going for, but it's dead now, and that's 1 per card. So that was dumb. I'm not sure why he did that. He clearly wanted to bomb the arty. He wanted to bomb the arty. Well, it was a nice idea, I guess, but it didn't work out because of the double Eyehawk. Obviously, he didn't know the double Eyehawk was there because it hasn't fired, but you want to be kind of safe. Okay, now he's pressed evac, and it's just automatically evacing over the Eyehawks, and now it's dead. So what he should have done there is curled it back over here, brought it back over here, and then evac'd it, because now he's just lost 2 planes to those Eyehawks. The Eyehawks do need to move. But yeah, look, the Repairer anti-tank guns, you only need 1 of these to kill a Repairer anti-tank gun. You don't need 2, especially when you've got corrected shot. So do you see this circle around this FS Jaeger? That's corrected shot, and it just goes around all your recon units. The enemy can get jammers, which stops it, but basically it makes the dispersion less. So yeah, he could have spent the other volley on something else, but he probably can't see anything. He could have just put it here, because he knows he's attacking here, and he might have hit something. So here we go, Axis is attacking. Sadly, oh, so he is attacking from here, which is cool. Sadly, he's not got this. I really do think he should have taken this first. Because look, these would be getting hit now. You can get recon up there. So I think he's jumping the gun a bit. I think all this could easily take this, right? And he's got this to know that there's not much here. And then he could come and take Bravo. So jumping the gun a bit here. I do think he's probably got enough troops to succeed anyway. But, you know, it depends on the... Like, look at this. He's got 3 super heavies here, but he's not really doing anything with them. Axis does have the mortar for smoke, so he thinks there's an ATGM in here, because there always is, but, you know, 119Y generally doesn't get infantry ATGM. I can't remember if it actually gets them. If it does, people never bring it. Anyway, here, the arty's coming in, so that's more of a blind fire, really. But he's doing good cohesion damage. So now Axis needs to swap the smoke up to here. And has he got the AA? Where's the Gepard? The Gepard's been left behind, so he's going to lose some guys now to the Mi-24P. Because he's not brought the Gepard with his big blob here. Heavy tanks coming in now. That needs to smoke. Doesn't, and dies. And the Jaguar 2's taking names. Gepard's being brought up now, and look at these heavy tanks. This is why it's so hard to take this zone. So he's actually fast pathed it, so it's not got the accuracy. It's a shame, really. And now, okay, so that the point of the smoke was to get the CV in, but I think, you know, win the fight first. Worry about that a bit later. Here we see the power of the double Gvozdika. It's doing about as well as I can speak. As you can see, it's done literally nothing. So the Mr. B would have killed that, but the Gvozdika doesn't. And so it's routed it, right? So there won't be any smoke for a bit. And yeah, so he's trying to hit these tanks. What really could have worked here is that bomber from before. Because he's got the fighter up, so he knows there's nothing here. What happened to that bomber? Has it been... surely it's been 2 minutes. Anyway, the Spetsnaz Gru's still killing people. The Marder 1A3s, if they get in here, will have a little bit of cover. You see, they only do 1 damage to the T-80 BVK. So he wants to smoke this really, but then the Jaguar 2 would... Okay, he gave this an attack move order, otherwise it probably would have killed that. Oh, it would have hit it anyway. Because the missile will keep tracking for a couple seconds. But if you're on an attack move order... Because look, he's just going out of the range there. It's turning. I don't understand that. Anyway, Axis takes the zone, incurring huge losses. I really do... Like, imagine if there was a Milan 2 in here. You'd see all this, right? These reinforcements wouldn't be getting him. But yeah, what he needs now is to bring that Gepard over and save his Panzer Grenadiers. Looks like he's not doing that. So the Panzer Grenadier is probably going to die. I was going to say he needs a FS Jaeger in here, because then you get the FS Jaeger up to here, and the Panzerfaust 3 can really kill all this. But yeah, the fighter's coming in from behind to try and get the Hilo. He's going for the more expensive one, I believe. Or at least the more important one. Now we don't know what that price is, because he only gets one and it's dead. Anyway... Imagine what all these reinforcements would be getting hit, right? Because if you own this, you know, you can get a Leopard 1 up there and so on, and even just the Milan 2 shooting it. So I think he jumped the gun there, and now he's in a very precarious position, because basically all his guys are dead. So Pastor Black's going to get back in here, more or less, because he, you know, he doesn't get a lot of infantry, but actually he gets plenty. So here's that bomber from before. Doesn't have a target, just chilling out. And you see the power of the Gvozdika as they do literally nothing to anything. Wow. But yeah, typically you'd get that for smoke, I guess. And, okay, that gets routed. And the Eyehawks and the Gepard take out the Su-27. The HE thing survives because this is low cohesion. It didn't even fire, actually. It was the Igla that shot. So, Pastor Black takes it back, by the looks of things. Another fighter coming in for this Mi-24P. So this is his last tornado, and now he's just going to keep this back here. So yeah. Not great for Axis, to tell you the truth. The attack was... Obviously, he's 1,000 points up, so you got to do something, but I really do think he should have taken this first and got an 80 gem in there. And he does have the FS Parmalan 2 in his deck. So, you know, not sure why he did it this way. Anyway, the arty needs healing. Or, you know, rejigging. The Gvozdika is trying to hit the Panzer Mortar again. Panzer Mercer. Panzer Mercer just means tracked mortar, right? Tank mortar. So more Jaguar 2s here to cut this. Axis, he stopped the tick, but he's definitely lost the zone, right? So, he's buying more Leopard 1s. T-80 UD, pretty good against Leopard 1s. Not sure why all this... Not sure what's going on here. Tornado IDS would have killed that. Because even though this has loads of armor, it had lost some HP. But I think it was like a near miss or something. So he's trying it again. Okay, he was going for the BMP-1 that time. The Strela's been revealed, so he should arty the Strela now. He's trying to... Okay, so he thinks the tank's coming into the edge. Shoots again. Misses again. And now he's been evac. Yeah, what could I say? So, he's lost the zone, and he's about to lose his Sultan, because he's just kind of left it here. Okay, never mind. And the Su-27 gets taken out. This actually used its... No, it didn't. That's just coming in for a bombing run. So, yeah. The T-80 BVK died, probably to all these Jaguar 2s. Also, no, it must have been the artillery. Look at all these craters around here. So, Jaguar 2s and artillery killed that. The way Axis builds his second Panzergren is really weird on the infantry tab. He doesn't actually have any big squads for here, apart from the Jaeger Aufklärer and the FS Jaeger. He doesn't bring pioneers. He just brings more Panzergrenadiers in trucks, which is not a good idea, in my opinion. Every time we do the deck review, I tell him to change, and he just doesn't. But yeah, he would have had a much, much, much better time in here if he had Pioneer Carl Gustav and Pioneer Regular and an FS Jaeger. But instead, he puts 4 Panzer Grenadier in there, because that's all he's got, and then they all die. Gvozdikas get taken out because they weren't moving. And these aren't moving either, but there's nothing that can hurt them. A Gvozdika certainly isn't going to bother him. Anyway, the Leopard ones, we'll see how they do against the TO... Okay, it missed. I mean, it does have higher accuracy, but it's kind of all RNG, right? I mean, alright. It does have 20% higher accuracy. Anyway, more Panzer Grenadier. He needs that smoke up, really. He needs to be smoking this. And this is probably dead now. Double Tunguska on it. But yeah, the Tunguskas aren't amazing, to tell you the truth. I don't really like them, because it doesn't shoot both of these at once. If it did, it'd be good. But it has to, like, re-aim, and then... Yeah, it's just not very good. So, the top... Ooh. I think it got out. It would have got out anyway, because it had more than 7 HP there. So, Tornado IDS is trying to snipe the T-8UD, but it keeps going behind things. He should really be killing the Tunguskas with the arty. What's he doing? He is trying... Oh, they've moved. Okay, that's fair enough then, really. But yeah, as he retreat... Well, that... He survived, and then he unsurvived himself, basically. But because his arty tab consists of 2 Vet 2 Gvozdikas, which are now dead, he's basically boned when it comes to smoke. You can't do any smoking. And that's what you need with your heavy tanks. So, yeah. And that's not great. So Axis has managed to fully take this zone. I'm not sure what was going on there, really. Pasta took it back, and then I guess he overextended a bit by pushing out here, and they all died. This arty's been absolutely lethal this game. Can understand why he tried to kill it. But yeah, so he had to like spec into a bunch of AA, and then he didn't have much on the ground, and then all the ground forces died. So he's actually pulling all the way out, but Axis probably assumes there's somebody in here. And also with the way Axis has built his deck, he's got no higher HP squads to get in here, because he's just brought Panzer Grenadiers and trucks, which I think is dumb. So, that is something. Oh yeah, the guy doesn't have any recon helos either. He's just got Lux Scimitar Racist. So if he had a recon helo, he could just send that over here, and he'd be like, oh, there's nobody here, and then well, also he would find targets to shoot. But instead he's kind of doomed to this ground game, where, you know, he spots something, and then I guess the arty's going to come in. So you only need one of these to kill that. So the other one should be going on the BMP-1, really. Especially with that corrected shot. I know I already said it, but every time I tell this guy to take out those Panzer Grenadiers and trucks and put in the Pioneer Carl Gustav and the Pioneer Regular, but doesn't do it. So I guess I need to keep saying it. See, 1 round was required there. 1 round. The rest is just a waste. Like, this hasn't even started shooting yet. So yeah, it's just worth knowing those things. As you use the RT more, you start to understand these things. Or you can just watch Hippie videos. But look, the way he has to take this is by using Panzer Grenadier, which don't work properly in the forest anyway, because the DMR doesn't fire, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, it does at the max range, but if you close range a bit, it's got a minimum range of like 180 meters or something. So here we go, he's pushing in now. He's got the Gepard, so this helo should go down. Also, he's got a bunch of planes. And there's no AA here, as he found out with his bomber when he just randomly bombed that. It's one way to find out, I guess. So, Red is really not having a great time anymore, to tell you the truth. Mr. Weisswanger is going to take him out. So yeah, I mean, the bomber would be best. These Spetsnaz haven't revealed yet, right? So this is just a 4-man squad. You don't really... Yeah, so he's cancelled that. Yeah, Red 119Y basically wants to play a narrow game. It doesn't want to be spread out like this. So when he was fighting here, that was sort of optimal for Red, but he lost that fight, and now he's, you know, like basically all your units are quite kind of expensive once your TO-55s and so on run out. You still got the 3, you know, Razvedka BMP2s, not including this one. What? Alright. So there's the Spetsnaz, so that's what you'd want to hit. And this is why you don't put them on top of each other, because they're both taking cohesion and regular damage from the same Spetsnaz bombs there. But yeah, that's the sort of thing you use the bomber on. And looks like Axis feels the same way. But yeah, you don't want them on top of each other, because one enemy bomber would kill them. But yeah, Red's having a really bad time now. Axis has taken this with his Panzer Grenadier. Shouldn't really be happening. There should be a Spetsnaz in there just killing these. And he's pushing up here. There's a T-80U, but there's no AA. So all Axis has to do is get those 2 Tornado IDS back out. This is coming around for the RT. He might get it. The RT has not been moving, which is really bad. He started moving it now. Alright. Just in time, I suppose. Maybe he saw this. I mean, he did have a Gepard there. Yeah, he must have seen it, because look, he's coming for it. And here's the double Tornado IDS. That smokes the wrong way, but they both miss, so don't worry. What? What a comedy of errors. It was showing its rear armor to them as well, so one hit would have killed it. 50% accuracy. Half the time it works every time. No, they should have got one hit there, but then, you know, there were the T-55s here that both missed, and the Leopards both hit, but... I don't know, I prefer a bit more deterministic gameplay, really. Anyway, if I'm Axis at this point, I would be moving these Eyehawks. It's absolutely outrageous that these haven't been hit by anything. Although the Gvozdikas are dead. But really, the 119Y player should have had the Mr. Bs, and he should have been hitting these, because they've not moved. But yeah, I'd be getting another Eyehawk for over here. Because you do get 3. There it is. And he's got a supply for it. So yeah, big blue push coming here, and Pastor Black just doesn't have the units. He's buying these heavy tanks. I think he's ran out of BMP-1s, because he bought a lot here, and he had a lot here at the start. So yeah, I think he's run out of cheapo IFVs. Clearly he's got a couple, like, he should have bought a Razvedka BMP2, I think, for here, would have been helpful. But really, this is almost a foregone conclusion, because how does he use these, right? The enemy's just going to hit him with planes. What I would say is Axis needs to buy that ATGM helo. I'm surprised we've not seen it once all game. They're so useful, just one of them. T-80 BVK gets killed by artillery there. Jaeger Aufklärer spotted it. So yeah, on this side, what Blue wants to do is get these guys up to here and then up to here, because they're not doing anything. Or you can send them into here, right? But the idea is you need to take this, because this is given good vision and so on. And once you get to here, then you can get ATGMs in, and then it's basically lights out for this zone. It gets very hard for Red to defend this zone. But yeah, if he had Pioneer Carl Gustavs and Pioneer Regular, you would deploy them here and then just send them all the way around. But instead, he's trying to use Panzer Grenadier, which just lose to all this, essentially, in the forests. So, heavy RT on the heavy... That's how you kill T-80Us. Two of these will kill it. Look, this is at max vet now. That's why they're not firing in sync anymore. Because it's aiming a lot faster, it's shooting a lot faster. So look, the LGBT is going to try again, apparently. But there are fighters out. One's about to run out of fuel. So yeah, there's a weird thing where like half the NATO fighters only have an autonomy of 140 seconds, whereas all the packed ones have 240. The Tornadoes have 240. But all the other, like all the American ones have 140. It's really weird. So you see how, you know, evacing and so on. Although the wrong one evac'd first there, but whatever. So Sultan coming in, covered by smoke. Typically you want the smoke to land first before you do that. Because if there is a guy here, you're dead, right? You've died. But there is nobody here, so he gets away with it. I do like the smoke, though. I think it's really cool. I think that's... like I've been playing Broken Arrow as well. Smoke in that game's even better, because it shoots faster, and you can just tell it to do it in a line. You don't have to worry about it. It just does it itself. But yeah, smoke is the ultimate game changer in both games, and I've been telling people this for 3 years. Literally, as soon as the game came out, I was saying everybody should be smoking, and they still don't do it. So yeah, another thing you can do is like hide it here, but smoke here, so that they'll bomb this. He doesn't, you know, this is bomber, right? So look, that's actually what he's doing. So, Marder 1A3 is trying to get around. Could send the Lux as well. And the Jaeger Aufklärer should be in range, actually. So he probably won't kill it. It missed. That's a shame. It could have been a side shot there. Now he's going to be set on fire. And he hit it. So yeah, obviously things could have been a bit different there. Lots of RNG at play. He needs to run it away, really, because he's just going to miss again. Yeah. And LGBT survives the Eyehawk. Transport on the Eyehawk has been sold. So that's not good. I mean, Red doesn't have any arty left, but really you can't be taking these Not sure what that was doing there. And yeah, there it goes. That was a bit weird. He had it hidden here. I think he must have misclicked or something. So Leopard 1A5s can't even shoot back. They can't even shoot back because the pen isn't high enough. So they have to close range to get in range to shoot, and then they'll deal 1 damage. So Tornado IDS flying a little bit too close to the sun there. But the HE bomber's going to come in. It's going for the Tunguska, which is smart. Sadly, there is more AA. But if he's paying attention with this, I guess he's going for the heavy tank. He's also going for the Tunguska, because he could have ping, and then you kill all the Iglas. Kill all the Iglas that way. Or you could strafe him with the jets. But yeah, I guess he was double going for the Tunguska there. It's alright, he'll be back up in a minute or whatever. That one's been hit by 2 Iglas. Okay, you seen the tank? Oh, he missed the tank. Really needs to deal with these Iglas. They're giving him a very hard time. Like, he's got quite a lot of units that he could be using here. But I suppose the T-80U would kill him, so it's difficult to know. But certainly the Gepard should be up here, right? And this shouldn't be doing that. Okay. Surprised it didn't go for the Milan 2, but whatever. Now it's going for the Milan 2, I suppose. So, +2 for Axis with 10 minutes left. Repairers, you only need one of these. Obviously you can't hear me, right? You only need one of these to kill that, and then the other one can go shoot an Igla or something. You don't need both of them to kill a Repairer anti-tank gun, right? So here we go, smoking this side now, so we can run the FS Jaeger in. There is Spetsnaz here. There are Spetsnaz here, so they could move forwards and run in the smoke and kill him, basically. But he opens himself up to being shot by these scimitars in this gap here. You might think that's not a substantial gap. No, it probably would be enough to stun him. So, Blob retreats a little bit. And yeah, Axis basically just can't play in the forests because of the way he's built his deck. Like, he'd be doing so much better. But, I don't know. Just doesn't want to do it, I guess. Really wants those Panzer Grenadier in trucks rather than Pioneer Carl Gustav or regular Pioneers. Because, yeah, these guys, they do have a lot of damage because of the DMR. The DMR is like 2 machine guns on a suppression basis, which matters a lot. So this is like 3 machine guns, which is like 6 rifles, so they shoot with the strength of 10 men for 35 points, but they don't have a lot of HP, so they don't live very long. And at close range, the DMR doesn't work, so it is important. But hey, he's still winning, right? He's on a +4 now. In 10 minutes, he'll get 2,000 points, which means that he'll definitely win in time. But Pastor Black, he's not surrendering. Just a bit of misplay here, just sort of sitting around getting shot. They don't have recon, so they can't actually see it. Trying to hit the Spetsnaz there, that is probably the superior target. On this side, Axis still hasn't taken this, he's just kind of chilling out with this infantry. And he can't, you know, he's struggling to kill these because of what he has. And you see that they're not in sync anymore because this is 3 vet and this is 2 vet. See, this is now just firing where somebody used to be. Although Pastor Black sort of tried to make it easy for him by running into the shells. Anyway, Axis is losing all his guys here because he's not really paid attention. He moved the Milan back, but not the infantry. I don't understand why he wouldn't move the inf back as well, but I guess he is now. And here comes some more Panzer Grenadiers. He's had FS Jaeger all this time. So basically, you should have put an FS Jaeger in here and just send it round to here. You would have got kills and stuff, but what can I say? Tornado F3 should really kill this. Okay. Gets a lot of misses. And then it's going to die to the Su-27. It does get it, though. So the Eyehawk misses. And look at this. Panzer Grenadier in trucks. Why? Pioneer Carl Gustav's a much better option. They're just tankier. And they do a little bit more DPS, but it's mainly about being tankier for the price. Because they do cost more. Like, they do less DPS for the price, but they do more HP for the price. So, yeah. Just trying to bully this T8 EUD with ATGM spam. And it's working. He's now stunned up. And he's going to start getting side shot if he's not careful. He's microing it quite well. He keeps getting stunned, and look how much crap is coming on him. So, Scimitar's just running into the BMP-1 there. It makes sense at this point to just go YOLO, I think. Because he's got 5 minutes, and he needs to keep... Because if Red gets back in here, he's not going to win. So, he does have to play quite aggressively. What he could do, because he's got this smoke mortar, but he's only using it for his CVs. So that's like stage 1... level 1 thug, right? But to get to level 99, what's it called again? I can't remember. Basically, you would smoke here and then run them across here, right? Or you would smoke here and then run them across here. You don't just use it for the CVs. You start off by using it for the CVs because that's the most obvious thing. Anyway, he's going for the CVs, which makes sense, really, because that's the only way Red can win this game now, is to stop these ticks. So he buys another one, but I mean, it's not got long. In the meantime, not much is happening here. Well, honestly, Axis could have taken this, but he doesn't know what's in there, so... But yeah, like this, for example, could have been sent to here, just give a look-see, and this could have been sent around, you know, starve it out, send these guys up to here, get up to here. You know, don't lose this unit for no reason. That sort of thing, you know. Anyway, these are still being fired together. But, I mean, to be honest, he is still in here, so... So, more Panzer Grenadiers in trucks. And, yeah, I don't see how Red comes back. He's not surrendering. I guess he thinks he can come back somehow, right? But I don't see how Red comes back, because he has to get a CV in here, basically, to stop the tick, slow the tick down. But, I mean, it's already too late, because you need 100 points advantage to win a ranked game. I think this is a ranked game, not a tournament game. If it was a tournament game, it'd just be 1, but it's already happened. It's already happened, so... Yeah, it's not ideal. And here we go, he's coming over here with his 6 HP squads. And he could smoke this, so he actually gets in without getting shot, if there was a guy there, which there isn't. But he is getting shot now. So weirdly enough, he actually wants to take this fight in the open, because at close range, these wouldn't fire. But what you can do is put them in this tree line, and then you get the forest cover bonus, and you'd still be in the open. But he's just using like a standard right-click order there. So, as long as this stays up, it should be alright. Because I don't see how the CVs get in, really. SU-27 eats the F-16 for breakfast. It is a better plane. In-game, right? Obviously, in real life, NATO stuff's a lot better. And this has been evac, which means he has a chance here, but he's got no smoke, as we spoke about. The Igloos are still around. He's still not dealt with these. That would be a great target for the arty, one on each. There we go. And yeah, as long as the FS Jaeger's here, this isn't getting in, right? So, yeah. Tank coming over. He needs smoke for this, really. Like, these could be deployed as well. Get them to here to shoot down this way. Or just send them in. But, you know, it gets to a point in a game where you're pretty confident you've won and you just kind of stop paying attention, so... Here we go, Igloo's going down. And these RPGs aren't that great, but they deal a lot of suppression, so... You know, they're dealing 1 HP per hit, essentially. Escortini's killing them all. There were Gepards back here, there were 2. Here's 1. I guess the other one must have died. I think he sent it forwards before and it died. Oh no, it's over here now. So yeah, Axis could continue to push up here, but like he doesn't really have to. He has won this game, so... Where did Red go wrong? He spread out and attacked all this when he should have just gone for Alpha. And, well, almost got it. And then he gave up midway too easily. So if he'd taken these 2, then he could have taken Alpha, sod this off. Because once you get Alpha, threatening India becomes a distinct possibility. So you threaten India, which forces the enemy to go for India. But what you actually do is threaten this, and you could try and take it, but it is hard. And then you just come back over here and sweep all this. Because if you're up to here, then you get up to here, right? And then you basically can own this whole map because they're going to be reinforcing down these roads, and you can just sort them all out essentially. So Panzer Grenadier dying to the Spetsnaz, and here we go, big last minute push. Could have smoked that one, but yeah, I mean they're just sort of pissing about now. So this is the epic Warno gameplay. Axis is losing, as you would expect. These tanks want to be kept at long ranges, basically. And these tanks are just better. They cost more. But yeah, I didn't see a single... There they are. All 4 of them. Ha! So imagine if he'd used these earlier in the game. And you just leave them in defensive places, right? So when he took this, he could have had one back here. And yeah, maybe it gets shot and killed. But then you kill the AA piece that killed it. And then that's one less thing for your planes to worry about. They are very, very, very useful. So yeah, that's GG. I think Red could have probably surrendered a bit earlier there. But, you know, it is what it is. I think I know who this is. Find out in a second. And that's GG. So 2nd Panzergren takes it from the bad side. And yeah, this is Sneaky Black Guy. So basically, he has like 700 ranked games. It's absolutely abhorrent. I don't know, welfare recipient, I guess. This is like, it was something like 14 games a day. 13.6 games a day when I worked it out. Axis has a life, apparently, but the way he gets to... Because, look, they're actually the same rank. 24 versus 23. The way he fixes the problem is he literally just plays 1 division. So that's how you can maintain a high rank with less games. You just play 1 overpowered division. Whereas this guy clearly plays lots of divisions. So, yeah, look at those arty pieces. Look at how much work they did. What could I say? I think Pasta built his deck wrong. And he's just aping Skiffic, basically. There's a lot of people who do that. They're just like, I want to be like the world #1. And then they just copy him and they don't understand why he's made the decisions he's made. And there's a lot of, like, basically, Skiffic relies on just being way better than his opponent. His actual strategy is not fantastic. Like, you don't want to play 119Y as a fast div. Anyways, I'll see you in the next game. GG.